Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I know it's been a hot minute, probably since you saw the last one, and you realize I'm in the same shirt. Well, yeah, it's the same day that I'm recording this, so yeah, that's why. Um, anyways, the book today is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. You might know her from books like Flight Behavior or The Poisonwood Bible. Shocking to say, even though I have both those books, and I have wanted to read another Barbara Kingsolver book called Prodigal Summer. This is my first book of hers that I have read. This came out 3 summers ago. It was a big deal. I remember a lot of people talking about this book. And I got a copy at a bookstore called Mosaic Books in Kelowna. It was an Oprah's book club pick that summer 3 years ago. Actually, I got it 2 years ago, but it was a pick. I think it had finally come out in paperback at that point in 2003. Let me just check. Yeah, her other fiction is Unsheltered, The Lucana, Pigs in Heaven, but she's most notably known for The Poisonwood Bible. Yeah, the book came out in 2022. My guess as a paperback. I don't know. Anyways, I will, and she's well known. I think we all know who Barbara Kingsolver is. Yeah. So I'll read the description and then I'll give you my thoughts on the book. Demon Copperhead is the story of a boy born to a teenage single mother with no assets beyond his dead father's good looks and copper-colored hair. Hence Copperhead. A caustic wit and a fierce talent for survival. In a plot that never pauses for breath, relayed in his own unsparing voice, Demon braves the modern perils of foster care, child labor, addiction, disastrous loves, and crushing losses. Through it all, he reckons with his own invincibility in a popular culture where even the superheroes have abandoned rural people in favor of cities. Many generations ago, Charles Dickens wrote David Copperfield from his experience as a survival of institutional poverty and its damages to children in his society. Those problems have yet to be solved in ours. In transposing his epic novel to her own place and time, Kingsolver has enlisted his anger and compassion, and above all his faith in the transformative powers of a good story. I gave this book about a 4 out of 5. Now, that's a pretty good, decent rating for a book like this. It's very good. It's excellent. I highly recommend it. My only caveat is that it was a little too long. I think it could have been, I'd say, 50 to 75 pages shorter, and it would still be quite as effective. It is a very good book. I will say that. And there isn't much that isn't, I mean, I don't live in rural Tennessee to know what it's actually like. But I think, my guess is that it's probably pretty close. She is from that area. It's actually Virginia it takes place in, I think, if I remember correctly. Mostly takes place in rural Virginia and eastern Virginia. Because it takes place in Appalachia, so southeastern Virginia. Or somewhere in West Virginia, I guess. I don't know. Somewhere in Appalachia. It's a really good book. It does, towards the end of the book, then there was this, and I think most people would agree with me, is that it does become a little bit too repetitive. And I felt that she could have taken some of that content out to probably make sure that it's a little more tighter. I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm saying it's a very good book. I'm not saying it's excellent either. I know some people absolutely adore this book, or adore it, or whatever. But, you know, I mean, I guess it will be a reread at some point. Someone will suggest it. It is a very long book. So if you're going somewhere away, you're going away somewhere during the summer, or even a beach vacation, and if you're going to pack this book, I would say just this is the only. You might want to pack another book with you because it does get very heavy in places. The chapters are long at times, but at other times it's really short. You know, I mean, chapter 30. It does seem like they could have. Her editor could have been a little more persuasive in getting her to cut down some of this stuff. And this is my main. The meat of the story does run fast. So once you get into a rhythm with the book, and once you get to know who the main characters are, it does run fast at times, but it feels very slow at times. It just feels like it slogs on and on. That is my main complaint, and I imagine there's a lot of people who say the same thing. Even if they like it, there are places where it just tends to slog, and it's not boring, I wouldn't say. It's just very, it gets very repetitive in places. And the main crux of the story, if I remember correctly, doesn't really happen until maybe about 2/3 of the way through the book. But then again, it is about other things too that he encounters before that one traumatic thing that happens. So I liken Demon to a bit like Kevin Pearson from This Is Us, in a way, because he was a star football player on the football team in high school, and that's all that I'll say. If you've watched This Is Us, you probably know what I'm referring to. Anyways, that was Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I definitely will be reading, if you're wondering, I definitely will be reading the Poisonwood Bible. Probably not, maybe not this summer, but maybe this fall. I don't know. So, yeah, that was Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I have, as usual, my social media links are in the description, and please remember to like and subscribe, and to make sure that and if you really like my videos, please make sure you have notifications set on so that you can know when I put up a new video. And I will also have a link for the book, for a copy of the book, in the description to my bookshop.org site. That always gets me muddled. So that you can throw me a few bucks if you want to buy the book. Anyways, talk to you soon, and happy reading.